Hey everyone, I think I am live now. So I am recording on Instagram as well as we're going live on YouTube. I had intended to go live on Facebook, but apparently Facebook Live is not working now. So we're going to do YouTube and Instagram. And then if you're watching this on Facebook, this is a replay because Facebook is being difficult right now. So I wanted to share with you guys a conversation that came up on our VIP coaching session for the upgraded version of our live training event happening this week. So we have our free live training event, and then we have a VIP upgrade that a bunch of people have upgraded to get extra coaching and to keep the replays of the training. One of the questions that came up today is, what do you need to start an online business? The reason why a lot of people want to know about this is because there's so many things that you think you need and that you see other people having, and you assume, oh, if I want to have an online business, I need blah, 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 all these things. And the fact is that a lot of the stuff that you think you need is not stuff that you actually need. You can have a very successful business without them. And even if you want to have these additional things in the future, you can always add them on later. So we're going to talk about the minimum viable product for starting an online health and nutrition business. And I'll mention a couple of things that you definitely don't need, that you don't have to invest your time and money in before getting things off the ground. So I really like the concept of the minimum viable product. What that means is, what is the least amount necessary to be able to get your business off the ground? And in the case of an online business, there's a few things that I really do consider essentials, and then a few things that are elements that can be added later. So the metaphor I want you guys to keep in mind when we're talking about what you need to grow your business is the idea of building a house. So when you look at a business from the outside, like let's say you're looking at my business, you're seeing our social media, you're seeing our training, you're seeing maybe you're emailing customer service and you're experiencing that. That is all the outside of the business that you see as the potential or current customer. It's kind of like the outside of a house. The outside of a house has shingles, it has siding, it has a door, it has landscaping. All of that stuff is nice to have with a house. But if you were to start there when building your house, if you were to start with the shingles, if you were to start with the landscaping, you would have an unlivable house. So it's the same thing with your business. There's going to be things that you might add on later that make your business nicer, that make it run better. But if you don't start with the essentials, then your business is not going to grow and it's not going to thrive. So let's talk about what those essentials are. When we're looking at your minimum viable product for an online business, the two things that you absolutely must have are something to sell and a way to sell it. So what does that mean? Something to sell is usually going to be some kind of service or product. Most of my clients start with one-on-one coaching and consulting. You do not have to start there, but for a new business owner, it's a very profitable and easy to get off the ground type of thing to start selling. And to be able to deliver those services, there's a couple of things you're going to need. Now, we teach to use the platform called Practice Better. It is not the only platform out there, but it's the platform that I have used to grow my online health and nutrition business. And it's the one that we see working the best for the types of clients that we work with that are primarily focused on service as the product. So coaching, consulting, maybe there's some curriculum and programming that's included, but a lot of it's revolved around coaching and one-on-one calls and even group calls. So Practice Better can do all of those things. And it can do a lot of other things that a lot of times new business owners don't think about when it comes to growing their business. So when we talk about the thing you want to sell, think about what goes into the service. You have the sessions themselves, being able to book those. You have maybe some notes or recommendations that you want to share afterwards. If you're in the functional nutrition and functional medicine space, maybe there's supplement guidelines, maybe there's testing you want somebody to do. Being able to deliver all of that as your product is something that you need to be able to do. And the cool thing about Practice Better is you can actually do all of that within the Practice Better platform. So you can book sessions, you can create the types of sessions that you want, different lengths of time, different time blocks that are available for those sessions. You can keep notes on each client. So not only the notes for yourself, but also the notes for other to send your client. So if you want to send a recap of the session, you can send that through Practice Better. It allows you to put protocols together, which as somebody who's in the functional medicine space, was a game changer for me in my business when I started on Practice Better. And being able to do automations, things like forms going out, getting contracts signed, check-in forms after a session, all of these different things that you can do to make a really awesome product for your customer inside of just one platform. So if you're going to start with any platform, I always recommend starting with a client delivery, like a service provider platform. And in the health and wellness and nutrition space, our favorite is Practice Better. So being able to send and receive signed contracts is super important. You do not want to be giving services without having a contract, to set boundaries around what the service provides and to make sure that the person has agreed to even legal things like your scope of practice and all of that. So making sure you have those contracts as part of your service, and then being able to take payment for the services is something you can do on Practice Better. So being able to receive the payment, be able to book the session, be able to set up the contract so that the person knows what to expect, and then be able to deliver the services that you've provided. All of that being done in one platform is amazing and really beneficial for a business, whether you're brand new or you're more advanced, like someone like me. And that's why we recommend using Practice Better, because you can do all of those things and also deliver group programs on that platform. Practice Better also allows you to set up free discovery calls to sell your services. Now, I know not everybody recommends discovery calls, and there's a lot of business coaches out there that are very anti-discovery call and they'd rather do things in a different way. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do a discovery call, but especially for a new business owner, discovery calls are the easiest way to sell your services without a bunch of complicated tech. It's also a great way to start to learn what your ideal client wants, to be able to have conversations with potential clients, to be able to adapt your messaging to the person that you're talking to, and to be able to actually get a sale without having to have like a sales page and all this complicated website stuff in order to make money. So if we're thinking about what do you need to get your business off the ground in the fastest way possible so that you could start making money tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now, being able to sell something really easily without having to put together a bunch of tech is going to help you do that. And that's why I recommend discovery calls for new business owners. There's so many reasons they're beneficial. And I know a lot of times they'd rather not do them. You don't love getting on the phone. I get it. I've been there, but I will tell you that they are going to be the most effective and easy to get started way to speak to potential clients and to make sales and actually get them to sign up for your services. So that's why we recommend Practice Better as a core platform for people to use when they're starting their business, or if you are already using some hodgepodge type of platforms like Google Drive or iCal to run your business and you want everything all in one place and you want to be able to keep things organized, we recommend Practice Better for that. So once you have that set up, so you have the thing that you're selling and a way to sell it. So you have your product, your service, and a discovery call for selling it. And you have the platform to take the money, right? Because you have to be able to receive the money as part of your service. Once you have all of that set up, then the other thing you would benefit from is a way to share your discovery call link. The easiest thing to do is to set that up with a social media platform. So if you're watching me on Instagram, you have an Instagram account. You can have a link in your bio. You can have that link be to your discovery call for your services. And that can be the main thing that people click on to get in touch with you about working with you. So having the ability to book that call right off your Instagram page is a totally free way to get started. And you can use your Instagram page to speak to the specific niche that you've selected for your service and to attract the kind of person that is looking for help with the problem that you solve. And things can move very quickly, especially on a free platform like Instagram. If you're putting out great content specific to a tangible, valuable problem and you're inviting people to book a discovery call, you can get clients very quickly that way. You do not need a fancy website. You do not need branding or a logo. You don't need all of this bells and whistles stuff that, yes, it's nice to have down the road. You do not need to have that to start. So we're really talking about having a platform that has a free option. And if you even want to upgrade to a higher version of their software, it's less than $100 a month. You can make that back from one client for the whole year. if you build a high ticket program like the ones we teach in the MBA program, easily make that back in a year. So again, a year worth of the Practice Better platform, one client will already pay for that for you. And then with, like I said, with social media, getting people to actually get on those calls, that's a free platform. And yes, creating good quality content that creates demand for your services and has a strong call to action to get on a call, that is going to help drive people to your discovery call booking link a lot easier, and things can go very quickly. So if you're just starting from scratch, these are the things I recommend that you have: a service to sell and a way to sell it and a way to get in front of people. And it can be a very low cost start to your business. Now, there are going to be some other legal and financial things that you'll want to consider getting started from the beginning, from the get-go. I recommend setting up an LLC for your business. That's how I started my business. I used a tool called LegalZoom to get mine set up. Super easy, not very expensive. And, having that all ready to go was really nice. And then you can use that LLC to get a business bank account. You absolutely should be keeping your business expenses separate from your personal expenses as much as possible. And really, ideally from the beginning, just keeping them totally separate, not intermingling them, not using your personal bank account to pay for your Practice Better subscription, that kind of thing. And we try to put as many expenses on our business our business credit card as possible, because you get points when you use a business credit card. And if you're paying it off on a regular basis, you're not getting interest on it either. And most new business credit cards actually give you up to, let's say, a year of interest-free service. So if you're in your business and you're just starting and you get a 0% interest credit card for the first year, you can be investing in your business and the things that help you grow very quickly without paying any interest on it for a year. So that's what 90% of the business owners that I'm in community with, the people that are in the mastermind that I'm in, the people that I work with, that's what they do to finance their business growth. They don't wait until they have enough money. They don't pull from all their savings. They don't, try to borrow money from relatives. They get a business credit card that allows them to pay it off over time. It is something that's a little bit unusual compared to maybe like if you follow Dave Ramsey or any of your typical budgeting type of money experts. But when you're in the business space and you want to grow an online business, it doesn't take a ton of capital the way that a brick and mortar business does. But if you want to invest in things that'll help you run your business, in coaching and mentorship to be able to get the strategy you need to grow your business quickly, those things can be done using a business credit card, and then you can pay that off over time with zero interest. So that's, if you're going to do nothing else for your business, having a business bank account, an LLC, a business credit card so that you can keep all your finances separate, and then having that platform to run your services from, to take money, to get contracts signed, all of the specifics that you need to be able to deliver a high quality service to your customers. Those are the things that you need. Beyond that, everything else is just extra. So you could literally have a 6-figure business with just the things that I talked about. You could have a multi-6-figure business with just the things I talked about. It doesn't have to be complicated, doesn't have to be fancy. You do not need to have a beautiful website for this stuff to work for you. It doesn't mean that any of that stuff is bad, but like I said, it's kind of like building a house. If you don't have the foundation and the studs and the framing in before you start adding things like the siding and the roof and all of that, then your house is not going to be in good shape. So it's the same thing with the business. You want to get the essentials set up first. So that way, when you add things like a website, you add things like a lead magnet or a podcast or all the different things that you would like to have for your business, making sure your essentials are set up so that you can be making money while you're building all of that stuff. So that is my short lesson. Thank you, Lynn Stahl says this is awesome information. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I know we have a few people here live, but really we're just looking at the essentials to starting your online health business, the things that will get you off the ground the quickest. And again, there's no reason that you can't be making money within a few weeks of starting your business. There is some stuff that has to be put into place, and most people are not making money within 24 hours of starting their business. But we have clients that we've worked with that literally got their first client within 2 weeks of starting the business. So it is possible. And we like to keep the barrier to entry as low as possible when it comes to the effort and the work that goes in. And that's why we focus on helping our clients pick a niche so they know who they're talking to, what kind of problem they're solving for their ideal client, so they know who they're inviting to even get on these discovery calls. We talk about the design of the program that they're going to offer. How many sessions are they going to do? If it's one-on-one, what's the duration of the package? What are you including? What is the actual structure of this service that you're going to do to help maximize the chances that somebody can get a result with you? And then being able to set that up so that you can easily do a discovery call, get people on the phone, talk about the challenge that they're in, and invite them to work with you and be able to take money from them. It's very simple. It does not have to be complicated. And most of the work you're going to do in the beginning is thought work where you're actually coming up with what you're going to do. It's not a bunch of efforting and, being on social media all the time. It's not like all this audience building activity. It's creating a high value product that solves a valuable problem for people, making sure that you can take money and deliver the service in a legally appropriate and high customer service oriented way. And then having your business finances set up so things are kept separate so that when you do your accounting at the end of the year, it's not a hot mess of trying to pull things out of your personal account. So that's it. I know it sounds really easy, and it is. It honestly is a lot easier than I think people think it is. It doesn't have to be this super complicated thing. Like I said, usually the most amount of work that goes in is all of the thought and strategy and decision making behind the business that you're building. The actual execution can be very simple. All right, let me see. So Linsdahl says, legally speaking, aside from setting up insurance, do you have any other advice before taking on a client? I really strongly encourage you to know what problem you're helping them solve and have some level of strategy around how you're going to help them solve it, because people don't want to just pay you for your time. They're not paying to spend time on the phone with you. Even if you're a lovely person, that's not what they're paying for, right? What they're paying for is a result. It's a solution to the problem that they have. And if you're not clear about how you're going to help them solve that problem, and it's not laid out in a systematic way, that can make it a less good experience for the person. Or maybe they don't get the result, or maybe they're disappointed and regretting investing the money with you because they realize you don't have a plan for them to follow. So having that plan set up, knowing in advance generally what you're going to do to help them is very important. Again, that's mostly thought work. It's not necessarily creating a bunch of things. It's not creating tons of resources or videos or, all the stuff that you can do to serve your clients. You don't have to have all that created from the get-go, but all the thought work and all the design work is the work that should go in before you start serving clients, because your business is going to grow a lot faster when you can actually consistently help people get results and get testimonials from them. That's going to be the biggest business builder that you can have, is great testimonials. And great testimonials come from a great customer experience and getting the results that they're paying for. So that's why when we work with our clients in the MBA program, that's what we focus on, helping them get set up so that they are confidently able to not only deliver great outcomes for their clients, but also when they're on a discovery call, it's easy for them to talk about the process that they're going to take their clients through, so that getting a yes on a call is a lot easier because the person's buying the result. They're not buying your time. And that is what we help our clients do so that they can start making money very quickly. Or even if you already have a business, you can start making more money and more consistent money, and then even start to scale past one-on-one to group programs and online curriculum. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if I'm trying to see if I have any other questions that have come through. Sounds like Hural is having a good experience in our live training, so that's great. Awesome. Hey, Mike. I just saw your wife earlier today. Lots of Shay time today. So we're just answering questions about what you need to start an online business and to grow it. My philosophy is that you should have enough of your system set up so that you're creating a business that can grow and grow quickly, but you're not investing in all of these things that look shiny and exciting on the outside, but really don't have a massive impact on your business from the beginning. The other side of the mistake that a lot of people make when they're starting their business is they're trying to do things on the cheap, and they're trying to piece together a bunch of free things, like their free calendar, right? Like you're using Google Calendar and you're using Google Drive and you're using email back and forth to schedule people. And yes, that's free, right? Like, okay, you're saving, if you're investing in Practice Better, you're saving maybe $80 a month, right? But how much time are you spending emailing back and forth to schedule with people? How much time are you spending managing your own calendar? How much time are you spending looking for notes and scouring through your Google Drive folder? All of that, as your business grows, will get so complicated and so difficult to manage that it's actually going to slow your business growth. And it can actually lead to you self-sabotaging, where you actually repel clients, because to take on more clients means more chaos. So we want your business to be as organized as possible. So that way, when you're taking on clients, you're excited to bring people in, you have the capacity for them, and that's going to help you grow your business much faster. And that's why I don't recommend starting with all the free tools. Yes, there's some valuable free tools that you can use. Again, Instagram is a free platform that you can use to find potential clients. But when it comes to the delivery of the service for your clients, I do not recommend going cheap and trying to find free stuff. So that's a line in the sand that I've drawn. I know that there's other business coaches out there that teach the free platform duct taping together. I've worked with people that unfortunately have come to me after they've gone through those kind of programs, and we've had to fix things because they literally got stuck and they couldn't grow their business any further because of the back end mess that they had created. So that's why we teach our clients to start from the beginning with a system that is organized. It's not expensive. It's, like I said, one client can pay for your entire year of Practice Better. And so being able to do that in a way that's organized and streamlined, not only for you as the provider, but also for your client to have the best experience possible, that is what's going to grow your business the fastest. And it's worth the investment. It's worth maybe if there's any sort of tech hangups, it's worth doing that stuff, because if you don't do it, you're going to have to do it at some point. And a lot of times fixing something that's a hot mess is a lot harder than building it correctly from the beginning. Selah Functional Wellness says, where's the best place to find high ticket hold on, I lost it. Let's see. Where's the best place to find high ticket one-on-one? I find a lot of interest, but not the right clients who are able to invest. Selah Functional Wellness. Why do I feel like I know who this is? Are you attending our free training this week? Because we talk a lot about why people say that they're not interested in spending money on your stuff. So let me know if you're at our training, because if you're not, I would definitely recommend you come, and that'll help you understand what you need to do in order to get clients that actually want to pay money for your services. Because if people are saying that they can't afford what you have to sell, it's because they don't see the value in it. It's very rare that somebody would say, it's literally, I want this so bad, but I can't pay money for it. The analogy I really like is if somebody had a Ferrari, like a brand new Ferrari, like a $200,000 car, and they said, I am going to sell this to you for $5,000. Do you want it? Even if you could care less about cars, you would know how valuable that car was. And you would say, I could resell this thing for at least $100K. Of course, I'm going to pay $5,000 for it. You would do whatever it took to find that $5,000. You would borrow it from family. You would get a credit card. You would take out a loan. Like, you would do anything you needed to do to get that $5,000 to pay for that Ferrari, so that you could either have a cheap Ferrari and be happy with the Ferrari, or you would resell it and make at least $100,000 in profit. I don't think there's anyone out there that would be, hopefully not silly enough to be like, yeah, no, I don't think I'm going to buy that Ferrari for $5,000, even though maybe you don't have $5,000 in your bank account. So that's the same thing when we talk about people having price objections to your services. It's because they don't see it as being worth the amount of money you're asking them to pay. Either the problem that you solve for them is not worth that much money, and if that's the case, then you're going to get mostly no's when it comes to selling, or you are not articulating the value of the service that you have to provide well enough for them to see that, yes, there's a high likelihood that I'll get the result and that's worth paying for. So that's what we talk about. And again, we go into more detail in this free training we're doing this week, as well as a lot more detail in our MBA program. But if you're getting a lot of, I can't afford it, you'll always get some of that because various people are in their heads about what they can spend money on. They have money issues. Like, it's always going to come up sometimes. But if you are selling something that truly is significantly more valuable than what somebody is paying for it, then the money objection is going to be far, far less common. So that's how we teach it. And again, it's money objections are always because the person doesn't see the value. And even when we sell our program, if people are saying it's too expensive, it's not because they think the value is not there. It's because they don't believe in themselves and their ability to make that money back. Which is unfortunate because as we're talking about today, it really can be very simple to make good money with an online health and nutrition business. It does not have to be incredibly complicated. The most important thing is that you have a really good offer and a way to sell that offer in a very clear and simple way to your ideal client. Let's see. Mike says, in your opinion, do you think people are still investing in a high ticket offer? I'm finding it hard to get people to invest. Yes, people are still spending money. There's going to always be external circumstances that can shift people's spending habits. One thing you want to ask yourself is, are you selling a must-have or a nice-to-have? So if you think about it, people are still buying cars, but maybe they're going for something a little bit more practical. Like, we just got a new to us. We just got a new to us car because it was like, we were not fitting into the car that we had. My knees were in the dashboard. It didn't feel safe. And so we knew we needed to upgrade the car. And also the kind of car I wanted, I was like, do we really need a new version of this? We can get a used one and save like probably at least 10 grand, maybe 20. And we found a really nice used one and we went with the used one, right? So in a slightly more challenging economy, people don't stop spending money. And we still spent, I think the car's total price was like $35,000 or something. But maybe we're a little bit more conservative about, okay, we don't need a new car. We can get a really nice used car and still, get exactly what we're looking for. So that would be a situation where with your services, are you selling something that in a good economy is like, oh yeah, that's nice to have. I'd like that. But then when economies get challenging, does it then turn into I don't really need this? That's what you want to be looking at, because there's always people spending money. There's always going to be things that people are like, I need to do this. I'm not going to worry about the money or I'll figure it out. And so that's where you want to ask yourself, are you selling a need to have or a nice to have? Because again, there are people spending thousands and thousands of dollars on health things, on life things, on wants, on, clothes and restaurants and cell phones, all of that stuff. And you need to get your services into that same level of need to have in their mind. Some of that can be your marketing strategy and how you speak about the results that you can help somebody get and really capture their desire for it and help them see it as a need to have. Or you could be working on solving a problem that people feel is extremely important to solve, and the state of the economy is really not going to affect their desire to invest in it. I look at something like infertility is a great example of a problem that the economy doesn't really affect, because when people want to get pregnant, it's like, I'm not going to wait for the economy to get better to get pregnant. I'm getting older. Our life is moving on. I don't have time to wait for this. I need to figure this out now. And so the economy has very little impact on that niche. Whereas something like, weight loss might be something where it's like, yeah, I want to lose weight, but is it that important to me? I don't know, maybe not. And then it turns into a nice to have rather than a must have. Of course, I'm not saying weight loss isn't a must have for some people. It's just, if you think about things like cancer or infertility or, really bad skin issues, those are things that are not impacted by the economy whatsoever, because people want those problems solved and they're not going to wait for the economy to get better. The other thing is, like I said, the messaging piece can affect how desirable your offer sounds to people. And so it's not like the economy is a deal breaker for people. There is going to be a little bit more finesse involved with your messaging and attracting the people who are looking to spend their money and also the people that have money, because even in a rough economy, there's always people that have money. It's not like everybody is struggling to pay their bills right now. There's a lot of people who have plenty of money to spend. And so it's getting your stuff in front of those people that have that disposable income that's going to be really important too. And sometimes it's just a numbers game. Sometimes it's about getting in front of more people so that the percentage of people that you're speaking to, that percentage that has the money to spend, it's a numbers game. So if it's like 5% of your audience has the money to spend, if you have 100 people in your audience, that's 5 potential customers. If you have 10,000 people in your audience, I think that's 500. Don't quote me on that math. I think that's right. But you can see how just the reach of your audience can also get you in front of more people that have money just from a numbers perspective. Lindsay says, I've had some teachers recommend that starting with a niche is important and others saying no, and just to start and serve anyone. I'm hung up on this and don't want to narrow my opportunities. Well, we teach niching, and my question would be, how is it working for you to not have a niche? If it's working for you, great. If it's not, then maybe we need to consider that not having a niche is actually holding you back. And when I'm talking with Mike about coming up with a must-have problem to solve versus a nice-to-have problem to solve, if you're not actually speaking to a problem in your marketing, then you're actually not promoting or selling anything that's really valuable for people. So especially in a tough economy, especially with the level of competition that's in the health and wellness space now, I feel like niching is really kind of a non-negotiable in the online business space, especially for newbies. Maybe as you grow, you can start to broaden, but if you're new to business and you want to make money and get clients quickly, I am of the perspective that niching is a must. And again, if you're struggling and you haven't picked a niche, you have to ask yourself, is it because you haven't picked a niche that you're not getting the growth that you want in your business? All right, let's see. Mike, yes, I would have liked to have a new car. I'm kind of a little bratty about like wanting to pick everything, but I was like, I really need a new car. I barely drive this thing anyway. So it was a not must have to get the new one. No, you do not need to put fear into them, but you can amp up the desire. That's something that you can do to help increase the value of your services, is really help the value get higher than the concern that maybe this is a frivolous investment. All right. Well, I am going to wrap things up, but thanks for those of you hanging out with me and asking great questions. We have one more live training tomorrow that starts at 2 p.m. Eastern. And it's saying that I'm not connected. So here we go. I'm back. I don't know what happened. Connection issue. What I was going to say is we have our third and final training of our series happening tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. There's still time to catch up on our first 2 trainings. So if you are watching this, if you type the word, I think it's after we go, once we get this on the feed, if you type the comment accelerate into the comments, we will send you an invitation to our free training. I think if you do it while I'm live, it actually won't work. I have no idea how that works though. So we use a service that helps connect our people with the freebies that they want. But what I was going to say is that we do have our third training tomorrow. We're going to be going over our complete 6-step roadmap for building a 6-figure health and nutrition business online. And we're going to go through all the nuts and bolts of the things that you need to be executing in the right order in order to have your business really thrive and not only help you make more money, but help you help more people and allow you to have the time freedom that you want as an online business owner. So do not miss it. We only do this once a year. So, once this is done, you're going to have to wait until next year to catch all of this stuff, assuming we do this again, which we plan to, but lots can happen in a year. So do not miss this opportunity to get this free content. It's a super high value training. We're having tons of massive light bulb moments with the people who are alive. And there's still time to catch all the replays before we take them down on February 17th. So I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you on our training. Bye, y'all.